Commission plans can be one of the most difficult aspects of running revenue operations. It's a coordination between incenting the right behavior, protecting the business, and creating something that scales. In this video, we're going to share a few frameworks for creating an effective and simple commission plan for your sales team, and we're going to walk through a real example of commission plans for your sales managers, AEs, and any overlay roles. So before we hop into a few specific mechanisms for building commission plans, I want to go over a couple areas that you should consider before creating the plan in the first place. So first is just keep it simple. A plan that an account executive, a sales manager understands is a plan that's going to work well. It can be really tempting to put in complexities that feel like they're incenting behavior. But if a plan gets too complex and a person doesn't understand their plan, it may be difficult for it to be incenting them to do the things that you're hoping they do. Next is make it results oriented. We do want to incent behaviors, but at the end of the day, we're looking for results from the sales team. So make sure it's tied to closed won business, it's tied to bookings, it's tied to booked meetings, something very tangible that is connected with the results of the business. The next one might seem obvious, but make sure your plan is incentivizing the right behaviors. Once you put a commission plan in front of the team, the one thing that is very certain is they're going to follow the plan. So make sure you think about all the different ways that the team could be trying to achieve their plan and make sure it's incenting the right behaviors. Next, and this one is particular for the ops team, is make the plan scalable. So once you have a large team, it's going to be really important that you can operationalize the calculation of the commissions and make sure that you can make a plan that you can repeat with new people joining the team. I'm going to relate this one to keeping it simple as well. If you keep the plan simple, it also makes it easier to operationalize for the team and should make your burden of managing the commission plan a lot less than it has to be. Next is protect the business. Make sure you don't have anything in your plan that could hurt the business in any way. Make sure you're not overcompensating for certain deals where maybe you don't have enough margin in the deal, or you may end up losing money on a particular deal. And just make sure you have enough safeguards in place to where you're not going to hurt the business if the team follows the plan that you put in front of them. Next, and this should be your team's favorite, is reward over performance. Once you set a quota and you set a goal, don't leave any reason for a salesperson or manager to hold deals over to another period to hit another period's goal. Give them every reason to close everything they can within that period as quickly as possible and over-reward that performance. Now that we've gone through some commission plan guidelines, I want to go through a few mechanisms that you can use to build the plan for your team. So I won't go through every single aspect of this, so this might be a good one to screenshot, but I will go through the methods and give you a quick overview. So the first and most common and most simple is going to be a fixed commission rate, either a percentage based or a fixed dollar amount based on a sale that the AE makes. As an example, if you close a $100,000 deal and they have a 10% fixed commission rate, then their commission on that particular deal would be $10,000. This is a really good type of plan if you can implement. It's really simple, it's easy. The AE can understand exactly how much they'll make on any particular deal, and it works really well for operationalizing the plan too. If you have a couple other roles such as managers or overlays, sometimes it can be difficult to put a fixed rate on any given deal, so that's where it might not work. But if you can use a plan like this, we feel like it works really well and it's nice and easy for the team. The next type of commission plan is an individual commission rate. So this individualizes the percentage of a given deal based on an agreed upon variable rate for their on-target earnings and their quota. So as an example, if you agree that your variable is going to be $100,000 and you have $1 million quota, you would divide those for a 10% commission rate. This type of plan is very helpful for management roles as well as overlays, because you can give a bigger territory and you can flex what the commission rate is as their territory expands, if they're hiring more people, or if you have specific aspects of an overlay where they're not responsible for the whole deal, but they are responsible for selling a particular product or feature within a deal. Another way to pay out commissions is based on residuals. So this is when a customer signs up for a subscription to your product or service, and you may not realize the revenue of that deal for quite some time. So instead of paying everything up front where there might be a risk of that company churning, you can pay it out as residuals as the company stays on board. This type of plan usually works really well for usage-based companies or long-term subscriptions or things that are month to month. It may be difficult to pay out an entire deal or an annualized contract of the deal all up front, so you may want to tie residual commissions to that particular AE who closed the deal. Another way to do it is based on profit margin. So if you have certain combinations of deals where the profit margin may be different and you want to incentivize getting the most profitable deal, fix the commission rate in any of the mechanisms that we used before, whether it's individualized or fixed, to the profit margin on the deal itself, rather than the gross dollar value of the deal. This will help protect the business from paying too much commission on a deal if you don't have enough margin baked in. Another mechanism you may consider using is a team-based commission or team-based bonus. There are some scenarios where it requires a village to get a deal done, and tying the team to specific team-oriented goals and incentives may be the best route. A couple examples, usually in account management roles where they're working with CSMs and technical leads, or partner roles where you may have additional layers managing an entire partnership as well. Team-based incentives can be really good for those type of scenarios, but it may be tough to drive individual performance. Once you've picked the mechanism that makes the most sense for your business, what you're selling, and the team you have in the field, there are a couple additional add-ons that you can layer into the plan to help drive some of the behaviors you're looking for. So the first one, and one of my favorites, is adding in accelerators if you go above target. So really pushing the team to get above a goal and continue selling. Accelerators really help drive that type of behavior and that type of performance, and really incentivize getting as much done within this period as possible. There may be times where you want to incentivize a feature, a certain product, or getting certain contract terms within a given deal. And a mechanism that you can use is a spiff. So it can be run completely outside of the plan. It might not be tied to their quota, but if you do one of these actions or accomplish one of these events, then you could have a special incentive plan for that. Usually it's paid as a fixed dollar amount, just as a small bonus for moving that incentive along. On top of individual plans, you can also create some camaraderie with team bonuses. So this can be outside of the individual plan. They can still have their individual quota, individual commission rates, and individual performance plans, but throwing in an extra kicker if the whole team meets a team-wide goal can really help collaboration and helping each other out on the team. The last one I'll mention here, and I'll preface with, don't include this unless you absolutely have to, but there are some cases where you may need to have clawback clauses in your plan. As an example, you may want to incentivize closing a deal and paying more commission up front, but there may be some risk in that particular deal where it may not stay for the long run. So you may need to put some clawback language into the plan itself or on that specific deal to say, if this customer doesn't last the length of the contract that we expect, then we can claw back some of the commissions that we paid, which would normally come out of future commissions or any base salary that your AE has. Okay, we're gonna go through a couple examples. I wanna make this really tangible for you and give you a couple scenarios that you can use to inspire the type of plan you should create. So we have a couple of people here that are on the team. We have Claire, she's the regional manager. She has 6 direct reports, and she has a few regional reps on her team. She has an on-target earnings of $200,000, and her plan is a 50-50 base to variable. So she has a $100,000 base and a $100,000 expectation of commissions based on the territory and quota that we're going to assign her to. She has a regional quota of $5 million, which is the roll-up of the reps that she has on her team. And she has an individual commission rate of 2%. So we take that $100,000, we divide it by that $5 million, and she's left with a 2% commission rate. So any deal that any one of her reps closes, she gets 2% of the annual contract value of that deal. This is a really good scenario where those individual commission rates come in handy. If we decide that Claire should really take on more responsibility and we'd like to roll another territory into her region, and maybe at this point she'd have a $10 million quota. But if we kept it fixed at 2%, she'd be significantly increasing the amount of commission she's making, and the business itself probably can't afford that amount of commission. So as her territory grows, the commission rate will change based on what her quota is and her regional roll-up quota. This helps to make sure that it's fair. Now, she can always get her variable portion increased, but it's to make sure that that commission rate is in check and that she's making what the business is expecting to pay that regional manager. Okay, next is gonna be Frank. Frank is an individual contributor sales rep. So he's an account executive working for Claire in her region. He has an on-target earnings of $150,000. He also has a 50-50 base to variable ratio. So he's 75 base, 75 variable. He has an individual quota of $1 million and an individual commission rate of 7.5%. Also on the team is Elaine. Elaine is a cross-sell overlay. She specializes in a particular product and works with Frank and Claire. She has an on-target earnings of $130,000. She has a 70-30 base to variable. So she has more indexed on her base than her variable. She's more of a product specialist who's going to come in and help move along specific products and features and help Frank. So hers is a little bit more indexed towards her salary, but we still want to incentivize her to move deals across the finish line and have a revenue-driven mindset. Her individual quota expectation is $800,000 of this specific product that she sells, and she has an individual commission rate of 4.9%. Okay, so let's hop into the spreadsheet and see how a particular deal would be paid out on their current plan. So up here in the top left, I have the new deal details, and I also have an accelerator. So if anybody goes over their quota, they're actually going to get 50% more than what their original commission rate would be. So here's an example of a new deal. We have an $800,000 deal that just closed. Now, the product that Elaine is focused on, that particular deal had $200,000 of that product, so that's going to go towards her quota. And Claire is the manager of both, so the overall deal is going to be $800,000 for Claire, and it's going to go to her quota and go against her commission rates. So let's just see how everybody does. So Claire, we have her variable OTE of $100,000, her assigned quota of $5 million. She has a 2% individual commission rate. Her current quota attainment, which remember is the roll-up of her whole team, is $3 million against that $5 million. So she's currently at 60% attainment of her region. After the new deal comes in, she's going to be at 76%. So nothing is hitting that accelerator quite yet. And her total commission is going to be $16,000 on that deal. Now let's take a look at Frank, who brought in this deal. His variable OTE, $75,000. He has assigned quota of $1 million, individual commission rate of 7.5%. His current quota attainment is at $800,000, which is 80% of his quota. So when he closes this deal, he's going to have a significant portion that's accelerated. And we're going to go into what that means. So after he closes the deal, his attainment is going to be at 160%. The first portion of the deal, $200,000, will not be accelerated. That's just going to get him to his quota. But he's going to have $600,000 that is commissioned at a much higher rate, 50% more than his original commission rate. So his total commission is going to be $82,000. Now let's take a look at Elaine. Variable OTE of $39,000, which is 30% of her total on-target earnings. She has an assigned quota of $800,000, individual commission rate of 4.9%. Her current quota attainment is $600,000, so she's pretty close. And she's at 75% of her attainment. After this $800,000 deal closes with $200,000 as a portion of the product that she supports, she's going to be at 100% of her goal. So that'll get her to her quota, but she's not going to have anything accelerated. So her total commission on that deal is going to be $9,750. Now you have a couple of frameworks and mechanisms that you can use to build the plan that's right for you. Remember, keep it simple, focus on results, and build a plan that gives your team an opportunity to win and overperform. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on our latest videos. Thanks for watching.